In this video, we are discussing the final of the standards. That's standard 7B, reference to CFA Institute, the CFA designation, and the CFA program. This is very important because as candidates in the CFA program, this is probably the standard that is easiest for you to violate, especially if you do some of the things you're not supposed to do, that which we're going to discuss in this video, related to how you use or reference CFA Institute, the CFA program, and your participation in it. So the story is that when you are referencing any of these, right, the CFA Institute, the CFA designation, the CFA program, I'm not going to necessarily write that out again, you absolutely must avoid, so must not misrepresent or indeed in any way exaggerate the significance, the meaning, the implications. Let's stick to meaning or implications of the fact that you are a member of membership of CFA Institute, of course, or the CFA designation, or indeed your participation and the fact that you're a candidate in the CFA program, candidacy in the CFA program. And there are plenty of examples accompanying this specific standard where you kind of get to evaluate and see what constitutes exaggeration. You can't claim, for example, that simply because you are a CFA Institute member and you hold the CFA designation, you are therefore better than other analysts on the market, or because you have passed level 2 of the exam, you can deliver better results for your clients. And sometimes the line between exaggeration and not exaggerating may be thin. However, for exam purposes, if you get this as a question, it should be pretty straightforward when somebody is exaggerating, although let me emphasize that it is absolutely okay to make what the curriculum describes as factual statements. Now, factual statements, of course, this is what we need to differentiate and distinguish from exaggeration or misrepresentation. So you can factually talk. These may include the benefits of the CFA designation, what the exam process or studying for the exams has given you, the CFA program. For example, you may factually discuss and talk about the fact that you have to study across a curriculum, a body of knowledge which encompasses these and these areas, and that on average candidates take so and so many 100 hours to get through this. You can talk about the fact that CFA Institute is committed to ethical behavior, and that is indeed an important component of the curriculum, that it's rigorous, that it's thorough, all of those things are factual. You're not misrepresenting or exaggerating there. Right, so get ready for examples like this or questions like this. Now, another strand of this, or another branch of examples and questions, I guess, as well, could be to how one uses the designation. So you can only put the acronym CFA after your name if you are a CFA Institute member and you're an active member, right? That means active member, somebody who has been admitted to CFA Institute because they meet the membership requirements, and those membership requirements are of course to do with passing the exams, all levels of the exams, but passing the exams is not enough to call yourself a member. You also have to satisfy the work experience requirement, which obviously changes over time, and I'm not going to now state what it is currently, it doesn't really matter. And even if you satisfy the work experience requirement and have passed the exam, you actually have to get admitted into the institute as a member, which is a formal process, and you'll receive notification of this and a charter that you can put up on your wall. Maybe I should have my charter on the wall behind me. I'll work on that in the near future, just so that it's there and shows that I was admitted to as a member of CFA Institute. However, in order to sustain active membership, you also, on an annual basis, have to keep submitting a sort of professional conduct statement. This is an annual professional conduct statement, which for most people is a very sort of quick exercise, as long as you're not under investigation for, misdoings in your professional activities, etc. It should be a matter of just clicking a few boxes, the right boxes, and that's it. You've filed your statement. And very importantly, you have to pay the annual fees, the so-called annual membership dues. Now, if you fail to do that, you will stop being an active member, and you can't use the letter CFA anymore. And there are questions following this or accompanying this standard, where they talk about people or present you with cases where people, for example, take a holiday from work, like a 2-year sabbatical leave, and they stop paying their fees or their dues to CFA Institute and filing their professional conduct statement. And that basically means that until a membership is reactivated, they can't use the letter CFA and they can't use the designation and call themselves or you cannot use those letters after their name. Another important strand of questions may examine your knowledge of proper behavior when you're candidates in the CFA program, which is the case for the majority of viewers of this video. When can you call yourself a candidate? Only if you are actually enrolled to sit for an exam, or awaiting results. The simple fact that you've purchased some, second-hand books, for example, and are contemplating registering in the CFA program doesn't mean you can call yourself a candidate. In fact, you can't. Watch out for violations involving partial designation. You cannot claim to be a partial CFA holder or whatever, so cannot claim partial designation. And there are some very nice examples where people, for example, say, I'm a CFA, I'm CFA level 1. Well, there is no such thing as CFA level 1 or CFA level 2 or CFA level 3. There is nothing in between not being a CFA charter holder and being one, and it is only when you go through the whole process of passing the exams, proving your work experience and getting admitted into CFA Institute, can you actually say, oh, now I can put those three letters after my name. Before that, you can't do any sort of partial thing. However, you can absolutely say that you've passed. It is okay to say, I've passed CFA level 1 exam, and that's brilliant if you've done it, yes. Or I was I passed it on the first go, or I passed all my exams on the first go. Brilliant, you can say that. You can't exaggerate the implications of that. I mean, I passed all 3 levels on my first goes, but I can't say that gives me any superior advantage or any superior knowledge as compared to other people who hold the designation as well. So you either have it or you don't. You can't claim that because you were in the top 10% of candidates or whatever, that makes you in some way a better analyst. You can just state a fact. Now, please review Exhibit 3 accompanying this standard. It's a table that shows quite a few, and quite a large number of proper and improper references, or improper and proper in that, I think, in that order, where you're presented with what you shouldn't do and how you should, how you shouldn't and how you should say things or reference the CFA Institute, CFA program, and CFA and CFA designation. That's a nice one to review. And then once you've done that, head over to to all those examples. Right now, at the point when I'm recording the video, there are 6 examples. All of them are absolutely nice. They're quite easy, but they show you that sometimes fine line between exaggerating and not exaggerating, although it should be pretty straightforward, and what you can say and what you can't say, depending on whether you're paying your fees or not, etc.